Everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone. I'd like to call to order the joint meeting of Somerset School Committee with Somerset Berkeley Regional School Committee at 6:02. Due notice having been posted. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting and may transmit the meeting to any meeting. Attendees are therefore advised that any such recordings or transmissions may be made whether perceived or unperceived by those present. We have Comcast SATV from Somerset, Channel 15, that will be recorded and this will be rebroadcasted in the coming weeks. Roll call of members present. Mr. Machado?
Present.
Mr. Gaudette? Here. Mr. Gore?
Here.
Ms. Gary?
Here.
And the Chair, Mike McDonald, is here. We also have with us this evening Director of Business and Finance, Mr. Ron Taro, and also our Recording Secretary, Robin Bacaro.
Pursuant to meeting law, in person meeting, and audio or video recording of this public meeting and the transmission meeting of the meeting. Please therefore advise that such recordings or transmissions may be made with the we have roll call for the regional school committee. Ms. Andrews.
I'm here.
Mr. Goff. Here. Mrs. Gagliardi.
Here.
Mr. Machado.
Here.
Mr. Davis. Here. And Ms. Vincent.
Here.
Others from the administration have already been recognized. Please, Joseph, close the meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of new business is discussion on the extension of the Fisher bus contract. I know many of us have had enough time to review the contract in the last 2 weeks that was sent to us. So I don't know if Mr. Taro, you wanted to maybe entertain any questions we might have? Or?
I think we've been satisfied with Fisher Bus Company and the service that they're providing us. And it makes sense to extend the contract for the 23 and 24 school year. It's up to the school committee if we want to do a 2-year extension. Now that way we can plan accordingly to go out to bid for the FY24 school year.
I just have a second question. Do we know what the ridership is on the middle school late buses? How's that going?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think we can try to get that data for you.
But, I mean, we've had that forever, right, in the contract?
Yes. And I think, absent Mr. Schoonover, one of the things we talked about was knowing with the new middle school being, construction going to be starting, we'll be utilizing at least one of those buses for transportation for student activities such as athletics and such like that. So I know he's already been in contact with Mr. Fisher, Ryan Fisher, to talk about that. So we'll be utilizing it one way or another to get maximize, probably 2-tier system to that.
I did see there that it said that the K-8 of the middle school uses 2 buses 3 days a week.
Yep.
And I know that the region has one for both Berkeley and Somerset, 2 buses. I just didn't know, was there that much need of the ridership for 2 buses 3 days a week? Was that the question?
Yeah, I apologize. I wish I had known.
I probably should have got that question to you earlier.
Yep, no, let me, I can find out the data for you as far as the ridership.
And just so you know, Mr. Carroll, it's just informational. I mean, it's not going to echo whether I already made my decision. So
I think it's my understanding that if you had a change later that was going to be eliminated bus or add a bus, you could do that within the contract.
Okay.
You have some flexibility.
That is correct.
all right,
do that.
thank you, Mr. President.
Because I know that the late buses may be an issue. Buses seems like something we've talked about for 100 years. But the late buses, and then I noted that if I read correctly, that the K-8 needs to do some redistricting in the future, which may impact bus ridership.
Okay, and my guess is that bus is in place for anyone who's staying for extra help, intramurals or something like that?
That's what the late bus is typically for extras, after-school activities, or maybe
Extra
tutoring
work.
services, whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
because they had, I think they had the homework club over there, something like that.
They do.
Any questions on K-8?
The only comment I have is, I did reach out to Mr. Fisher last week, because this was on our agenda in K-8, and I just wanted to ask him how he felt about the contract. And he says that everything on the contract still is valid for us. He believes it's working well. But I also asked him how he was handling the COVID situation with the shortage of help. And he actually shared something with me that other districts are actually reaching out to him because other companies are not able to fulfill their responsibilities. And as of today, let me rephrase that, as of last Monday, he has not yet had one bus not go out because of shortage of help. So that alone to me is a reason why I have no issue in renewing this for the 1-year extension. But I do feel comfortable for the year 4, but I don't feel comfortable year 5 because things happen every year. So I would only renew it the 1-year extension as it states on the agenda.
I would agree with Victor on that. I mean, the prices are locked in for year 5. See no benefit in extending it. And I'm also a little concerned because the agenda says discussion of bus contract year 4, and I'm not sure that the agenda item would allow us to extend it for 2 years.
My apologies on that. I didn't
Yeah, but I think the only thing I would want to do is at maybe our next meeting, not really related to the contract, but understand what the ridership is. I mean, I know myself dropping off at the elementary schools, there's a lot more drop-off than there's been in a long, long time. And I don't see that changing at this point. So I just want to get an understanding of the ridership, the number of buses, since we have some flexibility, and see if there's any opportunity for consolidation. If we could just put that as an agenda item at
Sure.
our next meeting.
I will make sure.
It doesn't relate to.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay, without further discussion, on behalf of the Somerset Public Schools, I will entertain a motion to approve the extension of the contract with Fisher Bus for year 4, July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
The motion made by Ms. Machado, seconded by Ms. Gary. I'd like a roll call vote. Mr. Machado?
Aye.
Mr. Gaudette? Aye. Mr. Goff?
Aye.
Ms. Gary?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
On behalf of the regional district, I entertain a motion to approve the extension of the contract with Fisher Bus for year 4, July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. So moved.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? Those in favor, Mr. Beard? Aye. Mrs. Gagliardi?
Aye.
Ms. Andrews?
Aye.
Ms. Benson?
Aye.
Mr. God?
Aye.
Mr. Machado?
Aye.
Thank you.
And as the chair votes aye.
The chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Keep me on.
Okay, moving on to the overview of the superintendent evaluation process and timeline. We were going to yield to
So I had to refresh my memory, and I figured it would be good to refresh everybody else's memory too. So I worked with Robin, we added some documents to the folder. Let's start with the timeline. If you looked at the timeline that was in the folder, we were scheduled tentatively to do the summative evaluation in summative evaluation in January. So we're actually pretty much on track with that. Although I will explain there might be a little bit of a delay. So when you look at the summative evaluation, I think Robin did provide the actual document that was approved. I went back and I looked at the minutes, we approved the document that was included there. Let's see. It's the one that we fill out that actually has a blank spaces. That was created with the superintendent's goals in mind, and those goals were approved by these two committees previously. So just to give you kind of a heads up on what we think we want to do, obviously we're understanding that the superintendent isn't here today, is that we would provide the superintendent, we have to check with him, so when he would provide us with the evidence or materials that would support his progress towards those goals that we all approved. Tentatively, it could be at an upcoming meeting where he would go through that. He would provide us with a live binder as he did in the past. And we would look through that with that document in hand and kind of use that to kind of formulate our responses or what we would fill in on that device. That could potentially happen sometime in January, if possible, at the end of January. I know that we're going to be talking about a meeting of the presentation of the regional planning board review, the regional planning study that was done at the end of this month. We could do it then, but I think it really merits us checking in with the superintendent to see how much work he needs to do to set up that binder. Once we have a meeting where we review the binder and have him present the progress he's had, we will then hopefully give ourselves, if we agree, a week at minimum, maybe 2 weeks, to individually fill out that document that each of these have. Then they will be forwarded directly to Robin. Robin will compile everything, and at the next joint meeting, we will have, or independent, I think this will be the first time we do it jointly, but the idea is to do it jointly. We will have a summative kind of compilation of all our pieces, but we'll all have a chance in public meeting to reflect on his performance over the past year or so. So that's why I say, although our timeline is that we would do the summative evaluation in January, I think we'll actually potentially conduct it in January, but we'll report out in February. What I told Mr. Fenstermaker is that what we can do, the joint superintendent goals committee can meet in the meantime and start talking to Superintendent Schoonover about his goals for next year. Because we're moving towards getting to a 12-month cycle. That's what we're moving on. So I wanted to put all those documents in the folder just to give everybody a heads up. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Julie, because what you just stated is exactly in step 5 of the summative evaluation. And until the superintendent puts in the binder all his evidence towards his goals or what have you, gives us the opportunity to comment back on that. And but everything you said, I follow, we follow. It sounds great.
So if that's okay, I think what we'll do is check with the superintendent to see when he feels he'll be prepared to make that live binder available to all of us. And then with that knowledge, then we'll schedule those 2 meetings. 1, to review it with him, and then 2,
To report out to the public.
to report out on our evaluation.
Any questions? Thank you.
All right. At this time, is there any public input? Hearing none. Next up is we're going into executive session pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, to conduct strategy and preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or conduct relevant collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Director of Business and Finance, Ron Tara. Director of Special Education, Megan Ashley. Committee will not return to open session. Okay. So I entertain a motion to adjourn to that.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Okay, Mrs. Spears. Aye. Mr. Gagliardi.
Aye.
Mr. Andrews.
Aye.
Mr. Jensen.
Aye.
Mr. Goff.
Aye. Okay, on behalf of Somerset Public Schools,
Aye.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. On behalf of Somerset Public Schools, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy and preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Director of Business and Finance, Mr. Ronald Tara, the Director of Special Education, Megan Ashley. And the committee will not return in open session. Have a roll call vote on.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Machado, seconded by Ms. Gary. Roll call vote, Ms. Machado.
Aye.
Mr. Gaudette.
Aye.
Mr. Gore.
Aye.
Ms. Gary.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.